Hello, my name is Lauryn Williams. I am currently a junior at Mid-American Christian University, and for my topic, we decided to choose deforestation. But before I go any farther into depth of what deforestation is, I would like to introduce my guest for this interview.
Hello,
What's your name?
Adrian.
So this is my little brother Adrian. He is a sophomore in college, and we thought it'd be a cool idea to tackle this topic at hand, deforestation, and turn it into a dialogue. So, Adrian, would you mind telling them what deforestation is?
Deforestation is the removal of trees faster than forests can replace them.
So, when you say the removal of trees, how do you feel like us as humans removing trees? How does that affect us?
It's like it's a lose-lose situation because we need trees for oxygen. Then at the same time, we also need trees for paper and furniture. Furniture that we have is from trees, and it's a sense of living, but also it's killing us at the same time. So it's kind of like a triple effect.
Okay, that's a very nice take. I like a lot what Adrian just said about deforestation because us as humans, we sometimes forget like how important like the ecosystem is for us and how we can use it as our advantage. But it doesn't just affect us. Ultimately, it affects all of God's creations. There are birds that create nests. Then there are squirrels that live in the nest, and then the trees as well because they create their own barrels. So, Adrian, how does logging affect us, or what is logging rather?
Logging is the process by which trees are cut down and transported out of the forest.
So you're saying logging is like when we see people butcher trees and they tie them up to like the 18 wheelers on the road. Okay. So like Adrian said, cutting down trees that puts us at a disadvantage as well because the more trees we cut down, we start to lose a sense of oxygen. Trees create shade. We're taking animals away from their homes, and it's ultimately us being selfish in the end. So I'm going to tackle the effects of deforestation. So forests are sinks of carbon, which means without the trees and without the forest, we lack CO2. If we lack CO2, then the environment is no longer getting like going into the biosphere. So if we don't have CO2, that's not being transported out, and that's not only bad for like us, but like it's bad for trees as well because trees need CO2 while we need oxygen. And ultimately, water is not being returned to the atmosphere through evaporation. Instead, it's causing runoff. So, how do you think runoff destroys trees?
Well, when runoff happens, that means that usually the trees blocks the water from, it keeps the water in its lane basically. And when we cut trees down, the water runs freely, which destroys the forest.
Do you
So
think the runoff could possibly flood the trees too?
yes, it can.
Nice take, nice take. So, why forests are cut down? Well, forests can be cut down for many different reasons. Population and growth, land is needed for, housing and farming. When area grows in population, like populations have doubled. Like I know just this past year, actually, they've expanded our neighborhood. At first, when we first got here when we were younger, our neighborhood was covered in trees. All we saw was wildlife. We used to see coyotes on our way to school. Um, we saw fox, like we saw like all types of different wildlife. We saw snakes, like those were just homes for that wildlife. But man came through because population started to grow and people started moving out here in our neighborhood. And now there's hardly any trees or any parts of a forest, huh?
Because of population and growth.
Another reason why people may cut down trees is for timber. Hardwood is exported to richer countries. Like Adrian's saying, a lot of our furniture is like made from China, made in China, Indonesia. So we're cutting down those trees to create timber. And then sometimes, like if you want a bonfire, you're gonna need wood. You're gonna get wood from a tree. And then power ranching, forest cleared to provide grassland for cattle. You need grass. The cattle can't really get the grass if there's trees in the way. And so it just ultimately like we're clearing up the trees and like it's an advantage but it's also a disadvantage. It sets us back. Adrian, do you think deforestation is intentional?
Mm, no. Some is caused by a combination of natural things, natural disasters, and combination of human nature. So it's not intentional. we know what we're doing.
Well, he has a point. I feel like we don't mean to because we get caught up in what we want and what we need when we're ultimately like setting back other like wildlife. Like we're not the only ones that need to survive. So ultimately, like the solution to like just end all of deforestation to stop cutting down and destruction of our rainforest and our trees. It's killing us, and in the long run, we only have so many trees. And like Adrian said at the beginning, deforestation is literally like not being able to produce more trees after they've been cut down. So if we want to stop this, stop cutting trees. Do you have anything else you want to say about the topic of deforestation?
No, you pretty much summed it up.
All right. Well, thank you for watching our video. Thank you for being a guest star in this video. Like I truly appreciate it, little brother.
Pleasure.